Hey guys, it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be the video that I've been waiting the entire year to film, 2018 favorites. I'm just going to go through all my favorites from this year. I have a lot of them. There were so many amazing releases this year, and I'm just super excited to share with you guys my top favorites. A lot of things didn't make the cut, so if you're wondering why like I gave a positive review to something and then it's not in here, these are just the best of the best. So I tried a lot of great things this year, but these are the ones that really stood out to me and that are just new favorites in my collection. I don't want to ramble too much. I feel like this video is going to be stupidly long. I hope for my sake and yours it's under 30 minutes, but we'll see.
Yeah, bitch, work.
So grab a drink, grab a snack, grab yourself, settle in, and I'm gonna show you guys my curated favorites of 2018. Let's get this bread. Alright, so I just put everything into categories, and I'm going to go category by category just so it's a little bit more organized and brief. So I'm going to start off with primers. Obviously, my number one favorite primer in the entire world is Tarte Silk Canvas, and this was a new release from 2018. When I first tried this primer out, my skin was so shitty. This, I felt like, really did a great job of smoothing over everything and making makeup apply really well on top of it, but also I feel like the ingredients in here have been doing really good things for my skin. Primer is the first step in my routine, so obviously I want to put down something good that's gonna not mess up my face, and I feel like this just has really great ingredients. It's a clean product, and it's a really good primer. So this is my number one favorite. Yeah, it's my favorite primer. So this is definitely a 2018 favorite. And then the only other primer that I really felt was special enough to be in this video is actually something you haven't seen me talk about on my channel because it's something I tried within this past month that I haven't even talked about yet. So I was a little bit hesitant. I was like, are you really gonna put that in the 2018 favorites video if you haven't even like reviewed it fully on your channel yet? But like, yes, it's so good that I cannot mention it. So this is the Farsali Skin Tune Blur. It's basically Facetune in a bottle. I love Facetune. As someone who doesn't really love... It's not quite like the Tatcha one in that I feel like that one does a really nice job of like filling in your pores. This one legitimately blurs your skin. It is very expensive. Farsali is more on the luxury side, and I feel like because it is a liquid, I might go through it a bit quicker, but the effect that this gives is beautiful. So I've actually tried mixing this and the Tarte Silk Canvas. Beautiful, but I had to mention this one. It's a really good primer, and I feel like it also does prolong the wear of my makeups. Moving on to foundation, I have 3 to show you guys. I tried out so many foundations this year, and a lot of them were really good, but these are like my top 3 favorite foundations right now, so had to mention these ones, and they're all things I tried this year. So the first one is a recent favorite that I just reviewed, but it quickly became one of my favorites in my collection. This is the Becca Skin Love Weightless Blur Foundation. Can you tell that I'm really into like the blurring effect? It's because my skin's disgusting. I'm in the shade Ivory. This is a bit of a more like, I wouldn't say dewy foundation. It's very skin-like, so it doesn't look like you're wearing foundation, especially because it is more medium coverage. So I feel like when I blend this one out on my skin, it doesn't look like my skin is completely perfect. It doesn't look like I'm wearing like cakey foundation, but it does even everything out and just makes my skin look nice. It is also part of the Skin Love line, so it does have like skincare ingredients in here. I think it has a serum that just really does a great job of plumping my skin. It's one of my favorites, and for a more like natural finish foundation that's not completely matte, I feel like this one lasts very well throughout the day as well. The next one is also kind of like the Becca one. It's in a squeezy bottle, but this is a matte foundation. This is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. This one was released sometime last year, but I couldn't find a perfect shade for me in the line. They really had a very limited shade range, and then they recently came out with a shade expansion. So I have my perfect shade. It's Almond. It's just the perfect shade match for me, which is probably why I love this one so much. This one is a truly matte foundation. It lasts extremely well throughout the day. This one is probably one of the more heavy duty ones I've been able to wear through like edging on 16 hours. I wear this one on flights sometimes. One of the reasons I love this so much is because it is a full coverage matte foundation, but it doesn't look heavy on the skin because it's such a thin texture. So it's a bit more on the like the liquidy side, but I feel like I can do one pump of this one, blend that one out, and then add on foundation wherever I need to add a bit more coverage. And it looks very thin on the skin. It doesn't look like you're wearing cakey foundation, but it just gives you that coverage. So this is one of my favorites. You're also getting a butt ton of product in here. This is 1.6 fluid ounces, and the standard is 1 ounce. So you're getting 50% more than a regular foundation for about the same price, which I think is awesome. It does smell a little bit like peach, but it's not like super overpowering. I feel like the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation, which is another one of my favorites, that one's a very strong perfumey scent, whereas this one really doesn't have that potentness. This I think is probably my number 1 favorite foundation, with Becca in a close second. And then the next one that I have to mention to you guys is kind of similar to the Too Faced one, but I love this one just as much, and it's a lot more inexpensive. This is from Catrice. It's the HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. It's genuinely one of the best foundations I've ever tried. It's not just good for like the drugstore price. They had a really terrible shade range when they first launched this one, but I believe they did do a shade expansion this year. This one claims to last for 24 hours. Never tested that, never will. Like the Too Faced one, it's more of a matte finish, but this one I love because I could put this one on at 5 in the morning and then at 5 p.m. it's gonna look the same. I don't think I've ever gotten so many compliments as when I've worn this one, and it is HD as well, so it looks really good on camera, really good in pictures, and really good on video. So I really like wearing this one when I'm filming or just when I'm going anywhere. I get a lot of compliments on this one. This I think is available at Ulta. I believe they have all the new shades there as well, and I am in the shade 010 Light Beige. All right, so moving on to concealers. This was a pretty hard category to narrow down just because I tried out like, I want to say 15 different concealers this year, and so many were really, really good, but only 2 made the cut for this video. So the first one I have to mention is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. It's so good. I'm in shade Almond, same as the Too Faced foundation, and you're getting half an ounce in here, so this is a crap ton of product. Pretty much everything that the Tarte Shape Tape was, but also things that I didn't like about the Tarte Shape Tape, this one doesn't have. So it has that full coverage, it has that really nice long-lasting effect. It blends extremely well, but it doesn't look cakey throughout the day, and it never looks heavy on the under eyes. I feel like Tarte Shape Tape could be so full coverage that it would just be obvious that you were wearing concealer, whereas this one, I feel like it blends so seamlessly that you can't even tell. It just looks like your under eyes are perfect. So I think it's one of the best releases from the entire year, and I can't recommend this enough. And the other concealer for me that I really enjoyed was the Hello Fab Bendy Avocado concealer from First Aid Beauty. They're a pretty nice medium coverage concealer, so I feel like they're very easy to build up. They're a very thin texture as well, so they're so easy to blend, and they're really, really good. I feel like they don't ever crease on my eyes. They are bendy, as the name would imply. So I don't normally have a ton of heavy creasing on my under eyes, but it can happen. And I feel like this is just kind of proof that you don't need a completely full coverage concealer to have a crease-free under eye. So this is really nice. I usually set it with a very light dusting of powder, but it doesn't require a ton of setting down, which I also enjoy. And yeah, these are really good. So I have these shades 2 and 1. I use 2 for regular concealing and then 1 for highlighting. Really good. Okay. I'm not really planning on talking about a ton of like tools in this video, but I have to mention my favorite beauty sponge because I discovered it this year. So these are the AOA Studio Blending Sponges. I love these so much. Beauty blender? I don't know that bitch. These are so good. They're pillowy soft. They blend everything really well. And I feel like the foam is very, very high quality for the price. They're just the best blending sponges you could get for the price point. And so I would definitely recommend going for the teardrop shape or the like kind of sculpted beauty blender shape, but either way, these are awesome, and I will never ever purchase a beauty blender ever again. I don't have a ton of contours in this video. The only thing I really tried this year that I felt like was worth mentioning in this video would be the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour one. So when I first tried this one out, I was kind of like meh on it. I thought it was okay. It was a little bit more warm tone than I was used to doing for my cream contouring. It's a really interesting little wand. It has a spongy applicator. You just kind of swipe it on there. I feel like this one blends so easily that it just looks seamless. So I can wear this one with a very light dusting of bronzer, and it just looks like I contoured and bronzed all in one. But I really love this one, especially during the summer. I felt like it did a really nice job of sculpting on my face, but also giving a tiny bit of warmth to my skin. My face kind of just looks like a snowball before I contour. I just look very, very pale and very blobby. Moving on to powders, I have 2 to show you guys. So the first one is the Hourglass Veil Translucent Powder, and the first time I tried this one, I was like, yep, 2018 favorites video. I'm wearing this one on my face today. It's a beautiful, translucent, very finely milled setting powder. As you can see, it's very luxurious on the inside. It's an H packaging, and then there's a stopper in the lid. So this is one of the mess-free powders that I really enjoy. I feel like there's some powders out there that just have terrible packaging. Makeup Revolution. I love when brands kind of take the extra step to make sure the powder is mess-free. Glossier does a really great job with the powder as well. I think it's just a really good added bonus within the price point. And this has a price point. It's like $40-something. But it's so pretty. It just makes your skin look alive. I always set down my foundation with a powder. It's just a must for me if I want my makeup to last through the day. It's just kind of a must for me if I want my makeup to, you know, like last throughout the day. So I always set my foundation down, but a lot of the time, especially if I'm going in with more dewy foundation or a skin-like foundation, I don't want it to take away that nice effect on my skin. And when I go in with a regular powder, it sometimes mattifies that. So Laura Mercier powder, for example, I love that one. I'm not mentioning it in here because that was released so long before 2018. When I feel like it really does take the shine out of certain things, and sometimes I want to keep that nice dewy skin-like glow. So this one does a really great job of making sure that my foundation will stay in place all day and not get oily, but also doesn't make me look super dry and gross. So I love this one. It's very expensive. It's definitely a splurgy product, but I haven't really been able to find a dupe for this one, and I just think it's such a beautiful powder. So the other powder I have to mention is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in the shade Fair. I like how I've literally written a book and I have no grasp on the English language whatsoever. Love that for us. But this powder I bought on the recommendation of Desi Perkins. A lot of you guys say that I get you guys to buy stuff that you know you shouldn't be buying, but you just want so bad. Yeah, that's me with Desi Perkins. This is such a beautiful powder, and I'm not a huge pressed powder person. I haven't really found a ton that I feel like just do a nice job of setting my face in and not looking cakey. I feel like a lot of pressed powders I've tried just look so obvious on the skin. This is what Charlotte Tilbury used on the models from the Victoria's Secret fashion show, which I believe my VS Get Ready With Me has gone up before this one, so go ahead and watch that if you want to see this one in action. But oh my god, it's a beautiful powder. It just fills in the pores, it smooths everything in. It literally is like an airbrush. This one can take the most textured skin on my forehead or my chin if I'm going through a really rough patch and just filter it, smooth it over. It's so pretty. I've talked about this nonstop. I'm so glad that they brought this one back because I didn't buy it in the first launch just because I was like, I don't even wear bronzer because I was stupid back then. And now I wear bronzer and I love this one so much. It's just my favorite bronzer in the world. This is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronze Coconut Bronzer in the shade Tantastic. It's the most beautiful bronzer I've ever seen in my life. It's a huge pan, first of all. This is gigantic.
That's what she said.
I've had this bronzer since, I want to say June. I use this one probably like 4 times a week, which doesn't sound like every day, but sometimes I just don't wear makeup on a certain day, and sometimes I'm trying out other products, but I use this one very consistently, and I haven't even made a dent in this one. So I feel like this is gonna last so long, which is great because it's $50. I make questionable choices, but this is the bronzer I'm wearing on my face today. It's just the perfect color. It's not too warm toned, it's not too cool toned either. It's just this beautiful, it also has a huge mirror in here. I feel like this is just one of the best bronzers. And as somebody who went into this year not even liking bronzer, and now I wear it every day and I'm just such a hoe for bronzer, what an evolution we've undergone. The other favorite bronzer from this year is the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer in the shade Baked. This is actually kind of like the cream version of the color of the Marc Jacobs bronzer, so exact same, like perfect in-between tone. It's just the most beautiful, not too warm, not too cool tone. Since it is a cream product though, it blends so seamlessly into the skin. I feel like cream is one of the best things to just make it look like you naturally have that color in your cheeks. So when I just dab this one onto the outer perimeter of my face, it looks like I've actually gone outside, which I never do. So I love this one a lot. Oh my god, I'm just revealing to you guys how sad my life is. Oh, this is so sad. Alexa, play Despacito. An honorable mention for another bronzer. I just want to mention one of my favorite face palettes from the year, which is the Too Faced Natural Face Palette. So Too Faced goes hard with the packaging. Too Faced always does the most beautiful packaging, and I feel like that's a big part of the price point. So sometimes they do miss it on quality, but at least it looks pretty. But this is one of the best releases from Too Faced this year. You get 6 shades in here. They actually all work for my skin tone, which is awesome. Sunny Honey is one of my favorite bronzers. It's just a beautiful matte, like I said, in between perfect shade for me. I actually feel like this is kind of similar to Benefit Hoola, but in a pan form and from Too Faced, so it's cruelty free. I'm also a hoe for the blush in here called Pig Sand, just gorgeous. And then the highlighters are so pretty. They're beautiful, beautiful glowy shades. I'm not wearing them today. It smells like vanilla and baby's butts. It's just delightful. I only have one single blush to show you guys. I tried out a lot of blushes this year. Honestly, I feel like blushes aren't that hard to formulate, so they're not anything super special. I just generally like blushes when I try them out. There's only a few blushes I've ever tried that I just hated. But my favorite blush of this entire year was definitely the Burt's Bees Toasted Cinnamon. I got this one on the recommendation of Kathleen Lights. It's just the most beautiful brown toned blush, which sounds really weird. So what I really like doing is applying bronzer first and then taking this one and blending it down straight into my bronzer and then kind of taking it down to the apples of my cheeks. And it just brings this really nice toasted cinnamon effect to your face. It just looks warm and a tiny bit blushy. I got this one at Whole Foods for $10. It's also really nice, like recycled packaging, natural ingredients. Yeah, this is the bomb. Highlighters. I tried to keep this category as minimal as possible and really just narrow it down to my favorite highlighters. I have so many highlighters that I love, but these are the favorites of the year. So first up, my baby. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlighter. I'm wearing it on my face today. needs no explanation. They brought this back for the holiday season, so definitely go pick it up if you missed it the first time. But I'm just gonna say right now, if I ever come out with a collab with a makeup brand and the packaging on the outside is not as beautiful as this one, you guys have full permission to go attack me. Here is the highlighter. I think you can just tell when you like shift it in the light how beautiful it is. It's a ridiculously blinding highlighter that doesn't have glitter in it. It doesn't look super unnatural in the face. It's not powdery at all. It's a very unique Bake Chalet formula, and I feel like it just melts into the skin but looks super ridiculously blinding. So this is my favorite highlighter of all time. I really want Anastasia to come out with highlighters like this formula because I know she has her glow kits, which I really do enjoy, but this is such a beautiful, unique formula, and I'd love to see more colors of this one. I also have to shout out the Colourpop Flexitarian highlighter. It's a top seller from Colourpop. It's a cult favorite, and I just haven't tried it until this year because I like sabotaging myself. It's just the most blinding Instagram perfect highlighter. Again, it's a bit more of a unique kind of creamy texture, so it's definitely not a cream highlighter. You can pick this one up with a brush and apply it just like you would a powder, but it has a bit more of a creamy feel to it, I guess. It's very soft to the touch, so I feel like that really plays into the effect that it gives on the skin. It blends in so beautifully and melts into your face. As my foundation kind of settles into my skin and as the oils start to come through, this one just blends in and looks perfect, but also super blinding and ridiculous. Flexitarian is one of the best. It's $8 and I would pay $30 for it. Finally, I have some highlighters that really shocked me. I didn't think I was gonna love these ones as much as I did, but these are the OFRA NIKKI Tutorials collaboration. I really love colorful highlighters because I do more colorful eyeshadow looks. I like to have something to pair with that, so I feel like they give a really fun effect, but they're not something I wear on a daily basis. So for that reason, I was expecting to like these, but I wasn't expecting to like love them so much. These are by far the best colorful highlighters I've ever tried. Space Baby is a beautiful like duochrome blue shift, and Cloud9 is a pretty pink shift. I love mixing them to create a nice purple shift on the face. Either way, beautiful formula. OFRA just does an amazing job. I wasn't expecting to love these as much as I did. They made it into 2018 favorites. Okay, brace yourselves. It's eyeshadow time.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening!
This was definitely the hardest category to decide for because I didn't want it to be like me listing 20 palettes I tried this year. So I narrowed it as much as I possibly could. I still have a lot of eyeshadows. It's by far the biggest category in the video. But the first one is again one of the surprise things I just really was not expecting to love as much as I did. This is from Dose of Colors. It is the DESI Differentiation palette. They went off so hard. It definitely is more of a neutral palette. It's kind of that same trend of like warm tones with a pop of blue that we've been seeing a lot, but I feel like this is one of the most unique formulas. It just blew my socks off. So first of all, the shimmers in here. It's basically the Dose of Colors Block Party shimmers in palette form. So they are infused with this really fine glitter. They just look wet on the eyes, which is so hard to find in a powder shimmer shade. I've heard the good things about Dose of Colors' matte formula. I know they have those like 5-pan palettes that a lot of people really enjoy. I just haven't tried any of those ones, and I didn't think that they were going to be this good, but this is like one of the best matte formulas I've tried in such a long time. They're really easy to blend. They have a lot of pigment when you pack them on, and just gorgeous. I'm glad that I have this one, and I love it so much. So this is definitely a 2018 favorite. I can't go through this video without mentioning probably the #1 thing I tried this year. It blew my socks off. It became my favorite palette in my entire collection. Morphe James Charles palette. It's so hard to find something at this price point that's this good. These are probably the best colorful eyeshadow formula I've tried in a long time. I actually think these are better than Sugar Pill, which is insane. Just the more I use this one, the more I love it. Although this eye look today that I'm wearing is not exclusively from this palette, I did use a few of the greens and blues in here. It's just a really good mix of colors. The formula's on point. It has literally everything I need in here, and it's just perfect. I feel like this was just a really good refresher. I'd been trying out a lot of things lately that just weren't up to par, especially like a lot of collabs, but I think Desi and Katie and James and Morphe were two of the best makeup collabs the entire year.
You believe God is the one. You believe God!
In the year of our Lord 2018, I found another one of my new favorite formulas of eyeshadows. These are from NABLA Cosmetics. So I tried out the Dreamy palette and the Soul Blooming. This is the Dreamy palette. It was the first one I tried out, and the mattes are one of my favorite formulas ever. They're kind of like the Anastasia formula that I love so much. They're very soft, very pigmented on first application. They blend really well, but the only thing is they're a lot less powdery, I feel like, and they just have a lot more density to them. So they're less powder and more just like creaminess, and they're so good. I was kind of hesitant to buy the Soul Blooming as well, just because I'd heard some not so great things about the colors in here, but this I loved. I think it's actually probably, I actually like this one better than the Dreamy palette, which I didn't think I was going to. Not only is the packaging just beautiful, there's a ladybug. Color story I just feel like is very cohesive. It makes sense. There's a lot of different color combinations in here, and it's just so fun to look at. So I love both of these. I am planning on buying the new Poison Garden palette, which I think is just a beautiful color scheme. So as soon as that one comes to Beauty Bay, I think I'm going to purchase that one. Shipping will cost a butt ton, but it's NABLA. I'm willing. Another favorite from this year was the ANASTASIA Soft Glam palette. The colors in here obviously are very neutral, but you have these gorgeous like dark shades in here, so you can make it really dramatic. It got me into neutral colors again, and that I feel like I was getting so away from that. I was kind of just like in this phase of like, if a palette has browns in it, I don't care. And then this came out and I was like, oh, that's so pretty. And it's so neutral and I love it. As always, the formula is just really good. I think Anastasia does an awesome job, and this is my favorite neutral palette of the year. So definitely recommend this one. It's a lot more on the like deepened side than the NABLA ones I mentioned, but still really, really good, and the formula is always awesome from Anastasia. I have two honorable mentions I want to just mention really quickly. So the first is Ace Beauté Classical Paradise palette. They came out with the Paradise collection this year, which I think is one of the most innovative launches in the eyeshadow world. They did a really awesome job of conceptualizing some really pretty color stories. Classical Paradise is my personal favorite from the collection. I did try the Paradise Fallen one as well. That was like the purple tones. That one's beautiful. It's a bit deeper than I've been enjoying right now, and I've just been really loving these tones. But these have some of the best yellows and best reds I've tried ever. I think this is just a really fun twist on a fall color scheme. It takes like the kind of burgundies and the deeper tones and just really goes there with brightness. Finally, I have to mention my Sugar Pill shadows, because for the first like 3/4 of the year, these were my favorite colorful formula. Chances are most of the looks on my Instagram from like summer and fall, if I was doing a really, really bright, intense, colorful look, probably involved some sort of Sugar Pill shadows. These are just really nice. If you're wanting affordability, I would say James Charles is a great option for you, but if you're wanting some really good investment shadows, maybe if you're a pro, or you just want really huge pans, Sugar Pill. Oh, a few mascaras I have to mention for you guys. First is Milk Makeup Kush Mascara. This is just the good Kush. I'm wearing it today. It's super voluminous. I love that it has a huge brush in here, so I feel like it just really catches every single lash in there. I've always felt like mascaras are really good for getting length, but there's never really a mascara that's gonna give you the volume that a false lash could replicate. This I feel like is the most voluminous mascara I've tried out. It just really does a great job of lengthening, but also making everything look very lush, but also not like super clumpy and gross. I also really enjoyed the Hourglass Caution Mascara. Again, I have it in a tester size. It's completely smudge proof, so I could wear this one and not even set my under eye concealer and I wouldn't have smudges on my under eyes, which is so hard to find. This is like the closest to a waterproof mascara you can get without actually having waterproof mascara. It removes really easily and it's just really, really good. So if smudging is a big problem for you, I would definitely recommend this one a lot. Another favorite is the AOA Studio Skinny Lash Mascara. This is a bottom lash mascara, and I don't really buy into the whole you have to have a separate bottom lash mascara, but this is $1, so I'm willing to spend an extra $1. But the formula in here is really, really good. I love the brush. It's so easy to just kind of reach those very hard to reach, very short bottom lashes, and I never poke myself in the eye with this one. I also only have one type of lashes to mention to you guys, but they are my favorites. So I tried out the Makeup Shack lashes this year. It's an indie brand, like online retailer mostly, but they do have a flagship store near me. And I tried out a few styles, but my #1 favorites are Dubai. I don't have them to show you guys because I am wearing them right now, but they're just such a beautiful style. They're very fluttery, super soft, and then the lash band is very comfortable as well. It's thin enough to a point where I can apply it really easily. It's very flexible and it just bends with my eye, but it also is not going to break apart at any moment and just be super fragile. So these are awesome for $9. Best lashes, hands down. I have just a few lip products to mention to you guys, but these were my favorite lip colors of the year. First, I have to mention my beloved, just all-time favorite nude ever. This is the I Love Sadahi Colourpop collaboration in the shade 951. So I have the Ultra Satin Lip and the lip liner. Perfect nude shade, the best color I've ever seen in my life. If I ever create a lip color of my own, it's gonna be this color, maybe with a tiny bit more pink in it, but still, this is the perfect shade. And if they ever discontinue this one, I will raise hell. It's a little bit more on the brown tone side, but still has a nice amount of warmth to it, and it doesn't look too brown. It's just perfect in the middle, and it's everything. I love this so much. So yeah, this is my number 1 favorite nude shade. Number 2 favorite nude shade is from Fenty Beauty. These are the Stunna lip paints, so I've been loving these so much. This formula is amazing, and she came out with some new shades. So my favorite new shade is Uncuffed. It's basically very similar to the I Love Sadahi, but with a tiny bit more pink in it, so it's what I'm wearing on my lips right now in this video. I also love Uncensored. It's my favorite red in the world. This formula is awesome. It's a matte formula, but it doesn't make me feel like I'm dying. It doesn't feel thick at all because it is more of a paint texture, so it's thin, it just spreads out really easily, very pigmented, and insanely good. So these are awesome. Another favorite color of mine is the Kylie Cosmetics Liquid Lip in the shade Kristen. It's a matte formula, and I don't love Kylie's matte formula. I feel like she does have some pretty drying colors. The lighter shades tend to be a lot better than the darker ones, but this is a beautiful like mid-toned kind of raspberry pink shade. It's just the most gorgeous color ever. I think this is one of the most popular colors on her website, and it's the one that she wears pretty much the most, so I love this one. It's pink, but not like aggressively pink, so I don't like wearing pink lipstick, but this one, it's so perfect. I mentioned the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bombs as well. I have the Diamond Milk one and the original Fenty Glow. So perfect. The Fenty Glow one, it's got a kind of pink tinge to it, so it's just the perfect lip color for a no makeup day. It looks like my lips, but juicy and perfect. And then Diamond Milk is by far the glossiest, shiniest, juiciest, like wet looking gloss I've tried in a long time. It's also completely not sticky glosses, so they're very comfortable to wear, and they're just juicy and beautiful. All right, so I have 3 things left. The first one, I don't even have to describe this anymore. It's just, I've become the official spokeswoman for this product. Yeah, that's it. The only skincare product that I really felt like passionate enough to mention in this video was the Sunday Riley Good Genes serum. Nothing has changed my skin as much as this one has. Really rough times with my face this year, and I just haven't really found a lot of things that have been working. This and the Drunk Elephant TLC Framboos Serum were really, really good for just getting all the texture off my forehead, or getting most of the texture off my forehead, and now I feel like it's one of the things I can count on to keep my skin clear. The final product I have to mention, I never talk about like body lotion ever, just because this is a makeup channel. I'm not a huge Lush person. I never go in there because it gives me a headache.
Yeah, hello, 911?
Like their products, but I never like go out of my way to get them. This is the Sleepy Body Lotion. It's just the most perfect scent I've ever tried in my life. It lasts really well on the skin as well, so I feel like if I put this one on in the morning, I still smell vaguely like lavender at like 10 o'clock. I think I'm gonna have to try some more things from Lush this year because this is so good. I wanted to finish off this video by mentioning a few of my favorite makeup looks from this year and a few of my favorite videos that I've made this year on my channel. The first is my Dark Galaxy look from Halloween. Halloween 2018, best month of my life. So fun. I loved creating those really fun, dramatic, bold makeup looks this year, and that was my favorite one, probably, that I've ever created. Another one I'm particularly proud of is my Ocean Waves look. This one was inspired by Nikayla Hyler. She's one of the most amazing, talented makeup artists I've ever seen. I had a really fun time doing the like pink makeup look that I did on my channel. It was just this insane, crazy get ready with me where I turned myself into a pink monster. Really fun. Totally irrational, would never wear it outside, but it was fun. I've also got a soft spot for my lace sugar skull from Halloween as well. That one, it was one of the less popular Halloween looks just because I feel like everyone does a skull this year. But this one was really fun to create and also not that hard. Oh, the Pride and Joy, the Starry Night look. So crazy, so insane, took me like 2 hours. Was totally worth it. So those are the makeup looks. Probably my favorite video that I did this year was the yellow eyeshadows video, just because I really like the finished product of that video. It was funny, and I'm not actually naturally funny, but the editing was pretty good. And yeah, that concludes everything. Thank you guys so much for an awesome 2018. Best year of my life, hands down. It was hard, really hard at times. Yeah, you guys are everything. Thank you for an amazing year. I hope you guys have the most amazing holiday season and an awesome 2019. 2019 is gonna be our year. We're just gonna kick ass. Let's do it. Thank you guys so much for watching my 2018 favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments what were your favorites from this year, because I love making bad decisions and buying more makeup. Make sure you're subscribed down below so we can hit 10K. Make sure you're also following me on Instagram to see the looks that I showed you guys in this video. And yeah, if you made it to the very end of this video and the very end of this year, thank you guys so much for everything. Love you.